Right now, you probably think you have more friends than you actually do. Not in the way people usually mean that. Not a question of who shows up when things fall apart. Something deeper than that. Your brain, the actual physical structure of it, has a hard limit on how many real human relationships it can maintain at once. Not a preference, not a social skill issue, a biological ceiling built directly into the architecture of your skull, and most of us are living well past it, every single day. Let's start with the number, because the number is where this gets strange. In 1992, a British anthropologist named Robin Dunbar was studying primates at the University of Liverpool. He wasn't trying to unlock anything about human connection. He was examining neocortex size, the outermost layer of the brain, the region responsible for complex thought, language, and social processing. What he found was a ratio. In every primate species he studied, neocortex size predicted group size. Bigger brain relative to body, larger stable social group, smaller neocortex, tighter clusters. The relationship held across dozens of species, consistent enough to build a formula from. So he ran the numbers for humans. The answer came back 148, rounded to 150. That's the ceiling. 150 people, the maximum number of stable, meaningful social relationships your brain can actually hold at any given time. Dunbar called it the cognitive limit of social group size. Everyone else just started calling it Dunbar's number. But here's what makes this more than a neat statistic. He wasn't just predicting a number, he was describing a structure. Because 150 isn't a wall you hit all at once. It's a set of nested layers, each one tighter than the last, each one demanding more from you. At the center, 5 people. Your innermost circle. The ones you'd call at 3 a.m. The ones your brain tracks almost automatically. Their moods, their problems, what they're going through. Maintaining these relationships requires something researchers call active social monitoring. You are running a continuous background process on these people, whether you realize it or not. Around that, 15. Your sympathy group. People whose deaths would genuinely devastate you. Close enough that you see them regularly. Far enough that the 3 a.m. call might feel like too much. Then 50. Active friends. People you'd show up to help move, remember the names of their kids, invite somewhere without needing a reason. Then 150. The full network. People you know well enough to trust, to ask for a favor, to sit down with unannounced. Past this number, something quietly breaks down. The relationships don't collapse. They just start feeling more like acquaintances than bonds. Beyond 150. 2 more rings. Around 500. People you recognize, can deal with comfortably, whose names you know. Around 1,500. Faces you know on sight. Nothing deeper than that. 5, 15, 50, 150, 500, and 1,500 are the layers of decreasing intimacy, each held together by decreasing amounts of your time and attention. And Dunbar had centuries of data to back this up. He cross-referenced anthropological records across hundreds of human societies, hunter-gatherer communities, early agricultural villages, pre-industrial military units. The average stable group size, across cultures and across millennia, consistently landed around 150. The Hutterites, a religious farming community in North America, had a standing rule. When a commune reached 150 members, it split. No committee voted on it. No founder mandated it. They discovered it, empirically, over generations. Something about 150 made communities work. Something past it made them fracture. The Roman military organized its core fighting unit at roughly 120 to 130 soldiers. Gore-Tex, the materials company, caps every factory floor at 150 employees. When a building fills past that, they construct a new one, rather than expand. Their internal research found that somewhere past 150, people stopped knowing each other well enough to function as a unit. Trust eroded. Coordination broke down. 150 kept appearing. Military history, anthropology, corporate organizational research, religious communities, all of them arrived at the same ceiling without ever comparing notes. Think about that. But here's the part nobody talks about. What maintaining your 150 actually costs. Stable relationships are not passive. They require ongoing investment, shared experience, conversation, emotional presence, memory of the details of another person's life. Dunbar found that in other primates, this investment happens through physical grooming, one animal working through another's fur. Hours of direct contact that wires social bonds into the nervous system. Humans don't groom each other. We developed something else instead. Language. Specifically, the kind of low-stakes social language most people write off as meaningless. Gossip, small talk, checking in about nothing in particular, the idle message, the "I saw this" and "thought of you," the remembering of someone's small, specific details 6 months after they mentioned them. Dunbar argued this is not trivial. It is the functional equivalent of primate grooming. It is the mechanism by which human bonds are maintained. Without it, the bonds don't hold. Dunbar estimated that maintaining just your inner 5 requires roughly 40% of your total social investment. 5 people, 40% of everything you have to give, which means the other 145 slots split what remains. Now here's where this reaches into your actual life. You probably have hundreds of digital connections, followers, contacts, former colleagues, people you met once and added out of politeness, old classmates who surfaced briefly and disappeared. The number is large. It feels like something. The question researchers started asking once Dunbar's work spread was, do those digital connections count toward the 150? The answer was not what people wanted to hear. A 2016 study from Dunbar's own research group at Oxford found that even among people with hundreds of social media friends, the actual number they had real contact with, the ones they'd ask for genuine help, the ones they truly knew, still clustered around 150. The ceiling hadn't shifted. The digital connections were simply layered on top of the same underlying structure, adding noise, but not capacity. You can have 1,000 followers and still feel completely alone, because your brain is not counting followers. It is counting something else entirely. The people it is actually maintaining, and that number has a hard ceiling that no platform has ever moved. The loneliness epidemic that researchers have been documenting for 2 decades is not happening because people have fewer connections. By almost every measurable metric, modern humans are more connected than any generation before them. More contacts, more platforms, more access to more people at any hour of the day. And yet, studies consistently show that the average number of people in someone's inner circle, the 5, has been declining for decades. In 1985, the average American reported 3 close confidants. By 2004, it was 2. More recent data suggests it is lower still. Not the 150, the 5. The innermost ring is shrinking while the outer network expands. More acquaintances, fewer people who actually know you, a wider net that catches less of what matters. Dunbar's explanation kept returning to the same point. Real relationships require a specific kind of time, not digital time. Voice, physical presence, sustained reciprocal attention, the interactions that cannot be automated or approximated. Those are not being supplemented by digital connection, they are being replaced by it. Your brain did not evolve for reaction emojis and 3-word replies. It evolved for the campfire, for sitting with the same people for hours, for the kind of slow, repeated contact that builds the inner circle from the ground up. You still have a 150. You always will. The architecture does not disappear. The question is how much of it is genuinely occupied. And the more uncomfortable question underneath that, your inner 5 are never empty. Your brain fills those slots whether you are choosing deliberately or not. And whatever is sitting in them, whoever your nervous system is quietly tracking, processing, and orienting toward, is shaping how you see the world, what you believe about yourself, and what you think is available to you. You get 150. You have always gotten exactly 150. The only question is, who's actually in them?